Happy Sabbath. It is a wonderful Sabbath. It's 89 degrees in South Florida. 89. It's supposed to get to like 95 today. Nothing like it is in California, where they say they are at record weather-breaking scenarios. Of course, there was a record back in I think it was in the 80s, in the 1980s, where California went through this same thing. And they did again back in the 2010 era. They hit it. But I looked and I was, I'm just looking at everything, and I just said, man, it's good to be into the knowledge of the truth. It's good to know what the direction that the scriptures is taking us. It's good to know what's going on around us and to understand all of these things, because if you don't, brothers and sisters, some things will just drive you, looking at stuff will just drive you crazy, just, really. So shout out to Brother David, Sister Devorah. In South Africa, they still tearing things up. Protest in Haiti. No leadership in Haiti. Cuba is in things, which means Miami, things are upside down because people are protesting, blocking highways, freeways, all of that. Sister Donna, how you doing? Alva Ellis, how you doing? Just blocking expressways. All of this stuff is going on at a time where you got all of this political turmoil going on. And but it's good to just be into the knowledge of the truth and have a happy Sabbath where you can go and get the word and let the word rejuvenate your mind. Let the word just resonate in your mind. I think that's always important when we do that. When we just sit down, take a rest, and take a day appointed by the Most High. This is the day that the Lord has made. And the scripture says, I will rejoice in it. It's good to take that. Brother Stewart, happy Sabbath to you as well. And it's just good to do that. It's good to just, when you meditate in the word, and it's important because your mind is like a refrigerator. It is taking in so much information, visually, audibly, in all of our senses, and we're constantly processing things. But this is why there is an appointed time that we just come together. This is why the scripture says, forsake not the assembly of yourselves. Now, we know that in COVID, we did it the best way that we could. We came through social media, and thank the Lord for social media. We came together through these various platforms, and we were able to come together. I thought it was great, and that we were able to sit down with family, sit down and open up the book at the same time, whether you watch this platform or one of the other platforms on the Sabbath, whatever you did, the fact that you came together as a family and you sit down and you were able to watch the word. And if it was just you alone, that's okay, because you know that you were among so many other like-minded people at the same time, just getting that word in. And this is what was beautiful, brothers and sisters. And this is important. It's very important to do that, because we're to the best of our ability, we are obeying the command of the Lord. When this COVID and when everyone gets as comfortable as they can, we know that there's different levels. Try to get back. Try to get back. Know it's going to be a while. We know that everybody's comfort levels are different, but as soon as you can, and as safely as you can, as practical as you can, still remember to assemble in some way, assemble in some sort of way. Because he says, forsake not the assembly of yourselves on the Sabbath. Why is that important? Because whether you're tuning in and you know that you're tuning in with other people at the same time, or whether you have come together physically, however, socially, media-wise, what that does in unity, strength. This is why Psalms 133:1 says, behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. And that's why when we open up that book and you know that there's somebody else in another state, another city, and with social media, another country that is tuned in and they're going through the scriptures and getting the same lesson that you're getting and you're following, and it's just, it really does something for you. It really does. It deals with that sense that I'm in this by myself, because you're not. You're not in it by yourself. There's a lot of people that are awakening to the knowledge of the truth. A lot of people are coming into the understanding of the truth, and they're saying, you know what? Let me get me and my house together. Now, you and your house could be just this. This could be the only house that you have control over, your mind. Others may not see what you see. Others may not understand what you understand. They may not want to do what you do, but that's okay. You do what you can do to the best of your ability. And that's what's important, brothers and sisters. That is as vitally important as anything else that we can possibly do. And the reason is because the Sabbath, not only is it a rest for the body, the Sabbath is a rest for the mind. It's important that your mind just come down a notch. You know what I mean? Just comes down. Let your mind just come down a few notches. And the reason why I say that, even that is important, is because, again, we see so much, we hear so much, we're getting in so much. When I looked at the world news the other day, just looking at the world news the other day, it was amazing. It was really amazing to me watching the world news to see what was happening. I was born in Germany. I'm a military brat, and being a military brat, I'm blowing horns because there's an accident way over there, and people are stopping on this side of the expressway to look what's going on over there. That's South Florida for you. But anyway, I looked at what's going on in places like Germany, the flooding, people on rooftops, and you know, these things have been going on for a long time across the world, but we didn't have the technology to get information on everything that was going on like we do now. See, that's the big difference. So we can see things that are happening around the world, and it can be brought, the information is quickly brought to us, quickly. How you doing, Sister Lady J? I'm on my way to pick up Brother Thin, and who's our teacher today. Sister Lady J is from the Ears of God in Riverdale, and I got one of the great teachers here today who is one of our teachers this afternoon, Brother Thin. but yeah, information is brought to us so quickly because of satellite, the internet. Everybody's got a cell phone. Everybody's got a camera. Everybody can upload information. This is the era of technology, and people can get information out so quickly. And so, all that being said is, you can see things that's happening like never before. That has always been happening, but now you can see it real time. And if you didn't know any better, people can take advantage of technology and place things to you and just blow your mind. Just really blow your mind. In Tampa, they have something called the red tide. The red tide happens. It doesn't happen frequently, but it does happen infrequently. And the red tide is a algae, but what it does is it kills the fish. It gets inside of the gills of the fish, and they can't get oxygen like they normally would, so therefore they end up suffocating. They drown. Somebody said, how can a fish drown? Yeah, because a fish does have to have its gills open. But this red tide thing, so they got a bunch of fish. I mean, thousands of fish right now, over in the Tampa area, that's just floating on the water, floating all over the water. Okay? And it's got a bad stench to it, and people are trying to figure out what to do, how to handle it, how to get around it. People got nets, but it's just so bad. It's like dead fish. So you got that going on, and then you got the wildfires going on out in California, and the heat wave going on, and then you got the flooding going on. Okay, so you got all of this stuff going on around the world. Somebody who doesn't know the book and who wants to inflict fear, who doesn't know the book, can put all of those things together and find the scripture and tie it in to a plague, tied into the wrath of God, which dealing in Revelations with the sounding of the trumpets, and we're not even at that time period yet. You see, this is what people can do to manipulate information. So when all of this information comes, they can do it. Then you got the coronavirus, and then you got all of this stuff going on. And if you don't know better, if you don't know any better, people can take this, put it together, and bam, it's the apocalypse. And are the scriptures unfolding? Yes, they are. Yes, they are right now. But let them unfold in the sequential order that they rightfully belong in. We have not even dealt with the abomination of desolation yet. None of the seals have been opened yet. But are there other things that are significantly going on that we need to be aware of? Yes, yes, and yes. The answer to that is yes, yes, and yes. And the reason why the sequential order and the timing of all of this is important, brothers and sisters, is because the things that are unfolding is rapidly taking you to the abomination of the desolation. A time that has never been or will ever be since there's been a time. You haven't seen that yet, but it's leading up to it. And the reason why that's important, and Satan is gotten people distracted with other events and not recognizing when he comes, because people are not reading the book. When you don't read the book, you are informed. You are misinformed. When somebody uses the scriptures and take them out of sequential context, and does this to you, you see. And so now you you just you just get so frustrated that when the real thing comes, you'll start believing that Christ hasn't even come yet. You start believing that we're still waiting for his first coming. You see what I mean? Because you're so off time. And then when he gets over there into the desert or in some secret place and they tell you he's there, you might believe. Understanding the scriptures in sequential order, in context of the sequential order, is vitally important. Because if you don't, you can get so misinformed, there will be a great falling away. People don't. They left everything, moved to Israel. It's time to go. I know a couple that said, you know what, we're going to Africa with our people. That's not the place to be at right now. It's not the. He says that all down, brothers and sisters, because we don't want you to be misinformed. We don't want you to miss the mark. The best thing that you should be doing right now is getting his commandments and his judgments. That's the best thing that you should be doing right now. You should be make sure that you have that covering. And let me tell you what that covering is. Okay? That covering is when you are in the book, you're reading the book, and you're doing what that book says do. That's even if you don't understand it at the level that I understand it. Because let me just tell you this. I didn't always understand it. I didn't always get it. I didn't always understand the sequential order and the context of the sequential order of things. I didn't. So don't let me act like I knew it and I've been knowing it. No, ma'am. No, sir. I just had to stop, settle down, open the book, and let the book define the book. Then I got it. And once I got it, it was tight. And after I got it, I still didn't teach it. I still didn't teach it because I didn't get it well enough to teach it. I got it well enough to understand, but not well enough to teach it. And there's a difference. There's a big difference. So all that I'm saying is that now is the time for us to get it. And if you don't get it, get around somebody that gets it, that understands it from the book and is reading it to you from the book, not a commentary. Not a commentary, not multiple books. We got one book, brothers and sisters, and that's Genesis through Revelations. Everything you need to know, I'm telling you, is in that book. Everything that you need to understand is in that book. All the guidance that you need to get to salvation is in that book. In that book lets you know how everything is going to unfold. There's no contradiction with the prophets. There's no wavering with the prophets. They all, along with the apostles, are all saying the same thing. So I just wanted to leave that to you. Tune in today at 1 o'clock p.m. or 12:45, thereabout. Tune in. Hit that like, the share button, hit that notification bell, because I know this brother is going to be bringing an awesome lesson to us all the way from Chicago. Brother Thin, awesome brother. He and Brother Sidney were the two first brothers I saw that led me to the Israel of God. They were doing a great debate, and those brothers was just spitting out the word. And I said, I want to know who those brothers are. And when they said the Israel of God, I said, I want to know who that Israel of God is. I want to know, where is that these brothers are throwing out the word like this. And let me tell you, and they said, we just teachers. That's all we are. We're just teachers, which led me to believe that there were other people. And sure enough, let me tell you something. It was the largest Hebrew Christian Israelite group in the world. And that's rightfully so, because they're teaching this book. Teaching this book. So let me tell you, so this is his first time here. It's great. So tune in today, hit that notification bell, and we'll see you this afternoon. God bless you. Happy Sabbath.